We have the 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024 models before me, and we're gonna go through some of the changes throughout the years in the features, functionality, build quality, and the performance. And the first thing I want you to guess before we dive into this video is, can you guess the performance difference in percentage between the 2021 and the 2024? Do we see 70, 80, 10% increase in performance over the past 4 years? Go ahead, comment below, give it your best guess. Now, the reason for making this video is twofold. One is if perhaps you own a 2021 or 2022 or even a 2023 Lenovo Legion and you're curious if you should upgrade to the latest model. And the second reason would be, let's say you don't have a Lenovo Legion, you're considering buying one for the first time or the second time if yours is broken or is no longer useful, and you want to know if you should get the latest 2024 model or go ahead and buy a 23 or a 22 or even a 21, because honestly, some are still on sale from 2021. Pretty crazy. So we're going to get through the benefits and the pricing of each one. This will be a pretty full video. I'm trying to simplify it as much as possible, but there's just a lot to cover here. First and foremost, let's talk about some of the changes that we've seen throughout the years, and then we'll go into the performance later in the video. Now, obviously the biggest change was going from this Legion symbol on the top cover to the horizontal Legion logo on the top cover, to then the vertical Legion logo on the top cover. In 2023 and 2024 have kept the same design. However, in 2024, I have seen a couple of laptops with the Legion symbol back on the top cover. I haven't personally been able to review one, but I have seen some reviewers get their hands on them. So it looks like they're starting to transition back to the logo on top. So comment below right now if you're somebody who wants to see that come back and if that's something you would purchase over just the vertical Legion name badge on the top cover. Now, a big shift from 2022 to 2023 was the ventilation. Now, they did not really change the material. They still use a plastic material for the vents on the side, but they use just a nicer plastic material. The ledge on the back had kind of a cheap, chunky look to it on the back panel of the laptop. And in 2023, they went ahead and they refined it a little bit. We have a little bit more of a nicer ledge. It flattens off. It has a nicer feel to it. It's softer, more rounded. It has just more of a professional vibe. It got away from the really chunky gamer vibes that we saw in 2021 and 2022. So if you're looking for a more professional design, I would lean towards 23 through 24. Also, something we saw from 22 to 23 is the top covers got rid of this angular line and they went for just a smooth top cover with Lenovo badging here and Legion badging up here. Opening and closing the lid with one hand was doable both 2021 through 2024. And you can see the screen bounce is the same, very minimal screen bounce between the two laptops. Now, the interesting thing about the Lenovo Legion 5i Pro to the Pro 5i or Pro 5 is that in 2021 and 2022, we actually had aluminum bottom covers. So we had top cover and bottom cover that were aluminum, with the interior of the laptop, the keyboard deck, being plastic. When heading into 2023 and now 2024, they actually made the bottom cover plastic. And that was in order to differentiate from the Pro 7, which has an aluminum bottom cover. A lot of people were complaining that there wasn't enough differentiation between the laptops. I was kind of one of them. I was like, why would I buy the 5 or the 7? They all seem the same, just have different numbering schemes and it's confusing. So they made this transition to truly make this the more budget-focused model. Still good build materials, but it was going to be a plastic bottom cover. So that's now what we're seeing from 23 and 24. So if you're wanting to get the most premium Pro 5 laptop, 21 and 22 are actually the laptops with the best build materials. Now, as we are looking at the bottom covers, let's talk about the upgrade path. That is something that has not changed from 21, 22, 23, and 24. Legion Pro 5 has been very famous, and 5i, for having 2 RAM stick options for the upgrade and 2 M.2 slots able to upgrade. So it is one of the best upgrade path laptops that money can buy. What I found though is going from 22 and 21 to 23, it was easier to upgrade the laptop. This bottom cover fits into this side panel rather than the entire back panel of the laptop. This whole ledge actually has to come off when upgrading the laptop, which made it a little laborsome in order to upgrade. So the upgrade path on the 23 and 24, I have found to be much easier than the 22 and 21. Now let's go ahead and look at the ports. So we're gonna pull up the back panel of each of the laptops here. You can see going from 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, the biggest difference here is going to be the configuration from 21 to 22. You see we have 3 USB type A's on the back panel, and then we go to this 2 USB type A's on the back panel as a difference. Now, as we turn them all onto their sides, you can see we have the exact same, except for the 21. Again, it's a little bit different. You're missing the headphone jack. That's gonna be on the other side. Now, as we flip them over, there's our headphone jack. And the 22 has the bigger difference. 22 is actually gonna lack a USB type A port. It's only gonna have 2, as opposed to the 3 on the 21, 23, and 24, because they didn't add it here. They went ahead and went with 2 USB type C's. Now, personally, I like this better. I like that this laptop has 2 USB type A's and 3 USB type C's. I find USB type C a little more practical, and more components and peripherals are actually moving towards USB type C. So the 22 model was probably the most practical port setup, in my opinion, on this laptop. Now, over the years, the weight and thickness has stayed so very close. What you're looking at here on my desk right now is the 21 versus the 24. And the 21 was ever so slightly thinner than the 2024. So it went 21, same thickness, 22, same thickness. In 23, it switched to the new chassis and became a little bit thicker. But it also became a little bit, from a width standpoint, or depth, I guess it'd be width, height, depth, however you want to say it. It became a little bit shorter. You can see the ledge didn't come out as far, but it was a little bit thicker. So that's the big difference between 21 and 22, 23, 24. The weight, I must say, I can't even tell. I feel like they're exactly the same. However, it did get a little thicker as we moved to 23 and 24. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the keyboard deck. I'm gonna try and line all these up, and hopefully you can see all of them at once. Okay, I wasn't able to get them all on the desk at the same time. So what I'm gonna do is, because the 21 had a black keyboard and the 22 had the silver, I'm gonna go ahead and swap the silver in here so we can see kind of the difference between 22 and 23. As you can tell on the keyboard deck, they are exactly the same. The biggest change on this laptop from 21, which is this same keyboard, to 23 is that the control button is now gone and the Copilot button is now in place of the control key. So if that's something that you're like, I do not want Microsoft's Copilot on my laptop, I like the control key there, I use it all the time, that would definitely be a reason to choose the 23 or the 22 model, or maybe even the 21 if you're so crazy as to choose it. Talk about that later in the video. That is going to be the biggest difference between these laptops, is you no longer have a control key here. Now, the trackpad, you can see it's the exact same trackpad. That's the really nice thing about Legion, is they have not made any massive changes to the laptop over the past 4 years or even 5 years. Trackpad is going to be the exact same. It's going to feel and sound the exact same. Keyboard, the only thing that changes is the color of the keyboard, and then of course that Copilot button. Here's the webcam on the 2022 versus the 2024. I don't want to load you up with like 4 webcams in a row, so I'm just going to show you those 2. This is the webcam on the 2022 Lenovo Legion Pro 5. And the thing is, with this year, they actually had the microphones at the bottom. The 21, 23, and 24, the microphones are at the top. So that's a big difference in the webcam audio. This is a sample of the webcam on the 2024 Lenovo Legion Pro 5, and a little sample of the audio for you as well. All right, let's talk about battery life. Really interesting. So if we look at the different models, I've actually have benchmarks for Ryzen and Intel over the past 4 years. Now, I don't have every single year. Sometimes brands send me not both of the year, and it kind of gets mixed up. I do my best to get everything, but I have battery life benchmarks for streaming video playback. I kept kind of the most generalized battery life, and it was at 20% screen brightness, at Windows battery saver mode turned on, quiet mode, and then iGPU mode. Okay, I'm not gonna talk through this. You can just look at the chart and see it for yourself. But there are the battery life results for each of the models throughout the years. All right, the next thing I want to take a look at is the screen brightness. And again, here is screen brightness going from 2021 up to 2024. And keep in mind that these are not going to be the most perfectly accurate results. Consider this: every screen comes with its little nuances and intricacies. My device is going to differ from somebody else's device when they're scanning the screen, right? I have a Spider X. So take these with a grain of salt with the differences between the years. But as you can see, by far the best year on average was going to be 2021 and 2023 for screen brightness, according to my results that I have. Now the color gamut range we're going to check out next. Now you can see the color gamut range here, the chart coming up. The best year is going to be 2023. That's the year that they had the most Adobe RGB color accurate panel. So if you're looking for the top color accuracy by 1%, you're going to want to consider the 2023 model, either the Ryzen or the Intel version. 2024 actually had 78% according to my tests so far.
All right, let's go ahead and check out the models available as well as the pricing, and I'm going to help you sift through these different models and let you know which one I would personally buy if it were up to me. Now, looking at the Legion 5 Pro, this is the 2021 model, Ryzen 7 5800H and RTX 3070. This is a great setup. However, it is $1,379 for a laptop that's from 2021. I don't think that's a great bang for buck. Now, we can go to 2022 and get the Ryzen 7 6800H, 16 gigs of RAM, RTX 3070 Ti, and we did see a really nice jump in performance from 2021 to 2022. You'll see that later in the benchmarks. However, $1,479 for a laptop that is still older is still not a great bang for buck. To me, the best bang for buck for Ryzen is going to be the Ryzen 7 7745HX and RTX 4070 with 32 gigs of RAM. $1,579, only $200 more than the 2021 model, and you get additional RAM, newer GPU, newer CPU. It really is, it's a no-brainer for me if you have the extra cash available to go for this latest 2023 model. Now, 2024 did not bring us a new Ryzen CPU configuration for the Pro 5. If you want to get the latest 8000 series from Lenovo, it's the Ryzen 7 8845HS in the Lenovo Legion Slim 5 Gen 9. Currently, the Pro 5 does not have a Ryzen model available. Maybe later this year we will see one, maybe we will not. So just keep that in mind. Now, moving on to the Legion 5i Pro i7 11800H. This is the 2021 model with the RTX 3050. This is definitely not a great buy in my opinion. Overpriced for this model configuration. Now, this is actually the 2022 version. This is mislabeled because this is the i7 12700H with the RTX 3050 Ti. Again, I think this is overpriced. Right now on bestbuy.com at the recording of this video, again, you can check the live pricing. Maybe it's still on sale. Maybe it isn't. Just giving that disclaimer. Links in the description below to check that out. You can get the Lenovo Legion Slim 5 14-inch model with an RTX 4060 and gets really good performance for $1,050. So just keep that in mind if you're looking for a good deal on a laptop right now. Now, next, we're going to take a look at the latest Intel 13th Gen i7 with an RTX 4070. This is where I would be putting my money if I were going to be getting the Lenovo Legion Pro in 2024. It would be either the 13th Gen i7 RTX 4070, or I would be getting the Ryzen 7 7745HX with the RTX 4070. These two are going to be the best bang for buck. Now, you can see that on Best Buy's website, they have the latest Pro 5i with the 14th Gen i9, 16 gigs of RAM and an RTX 4060. However, in my opinion, going from 13th gen to 14th gen, and you'll also see in the benchmarks some more hard concrete evidence of this, you're going to get more bang for buck and more performance by going for a 4070 versus a 4060 GPU than you will going from 13th gen CPU to 14th gen CPU, because we didn't see that big of a performance difference. So that would be my recommendation, would be the 13th gen with the RTX 4070 or the Ryzen 7 7745HX with RTX 4070. Now, you can see on Lenovo's website, you have some models available as well. This is the Gen 8 13th gen. However, it's still an RTX 4060, so that makes the Best Buy one for me the better purchase. Now on Amazon, they do have it as well, but again, RTX 4060. So make sure you're reading the product listings so you don't make the wrong purchase. Now, if you're somebody who really wants the latest Gen 9, of course, there's every type of model available. You can build your own, you can add to your cart the ones that they've already pre-configured. It's up to you. But you've seen my recommendations. Super curious, comment below which one you're considering. And remember that links are in the description if you do make a purchase. It helps out the channel. I really appreciate it when y'all use those links.
Okay, now without further ado, let's get into the performance benchmarks of each of these laptops. And if you look at the Puget Systems results, you can see that the best laptop in Photoshop so far, the past 4 years, is actually going to be last year's 2023 model with the Ryzen 7 7745HX and RTX 4070. So according to the price point, that might be one of the best buys for you. Followed up by the 2022 model by Ryzen, and then the 2024 model by Intel. So pretty interesting results. I think the 2023 is still an excellent buy. Now looking at Autodesk 3ds Max and Autodesk Maya, you can see that the top performer is again the Ryzen 7 7745HX and RTX 4070. And in PTC Creo, same thing. But then as we move into SolidWorks, the best performer is going to be the latest i7 14700H and RTX 4070 equipped version. Now, going ahead and looking at Premiere Pro playback, this is very interesting. I really anticipated that 2024 would be a really strong year for the GPU and CPU combination. However, 2022 was the 1 year out of the past 4 years that we saw 0 drop frames out of a laptop, and it was the Ryzen 7 6800H and RTX 3070 Ti. So if you're doing 6K B-raw editing, and you want to have 0 drop frames, you could go for the 2022 model. However, the 2023 and 2024 models are not shabby, especially if you're looking at the Intel i7 13700H and RTX 4060, as well as the 2024 model with the RTX 4070, and the 2023 with the Ryzen 7 7745HX, RTX 4070. Those are going to be great models for video editing in Premiere Pro with 6K playback. You're going to have no issues with 4K at all. And then you can see the 6K is definitely good. 2021 models, I would not recommend. The biggest jump in playback for performance is when we went from 2021 to 2022. You see a really, really big jump, about 5,000 drop frames between that year. So really cool results there. Now, looking at the export times, the best export time is actually going to be from 2024, the Lenovo Legion Pro 5i, followed up by the 2022 Pro 5i with the i7 12700H. And then we get a Ryzen in there at the Ryzen 7 6800H and RTX 3070 Ti. But they're all honestly pretty solid export times throughout the past couple of years for the Legion series. Now let's go ahead and look at 6K video editing export times. Now for both of these, the 4K and the 6K, I took a 9-minute 4K clip, placed it in Premiere Pro, and then exported out at full quality settings, both 4K and 6K, that's the same process. So the best export times are definitely gonna be the 12 minutes through the just under 15 minutes there for the Intel lineup. And then we see Ryzen coming in at the Ryzen 7 7745HX and RTX 4070 at 16 minutes and 39 seconds, then it moves up from there. Definitely gonna be the one to beat for export times in both 4K and 6K video editing. So if you're a big video editor, I would definitely choose Intel over the past couple of years. Now that the numbers are in, would I upgrade if I had a 2021 laptop? I would consider upgrading if I had a 2021, and I would go up to the 2023. I think that would be kind of the best bang for buck if you're gonna try and make that jump. Unless you can find a 2024 on sale, then that would be a good option. However, if I had a 2022 or 2023 and it was still running perfectly fine, I would not upgrade to 2024. I would wait till 2025. Hopefully Intel or Ryzen will push out some new chipsets and we'll see better performance increases. Now, I had you guess the performance increase from 2021 to 2024. For 3D modeling, it was a 29% increase in performance. For Photoshop, it was a 31% increase in performance between 2021 and 2024. So that tells me that Moore's Law over the past couple of years actually is less than it had been anticipated in the past. There's been a few people that said Moore's Law is dead, and I would not necessarily say it's dead, but it is definitely struggling over the past 4 years, because Moore's Law said that the forecast would be that every 2 years, you'd see a compound annual growth of about 41%, and we didn't even see 30% growth over 4 years. So whether it's dead or not is up to discussion, but I would definitely say that Moore's Law is struggling currently. And so for me, if I needed to go ahead and buy a laptop right now, I would choose the 2023 model if I could find a great sale. If you're somebody looking to pick up the Legion, this is a fantastic buy, great performance. Now, if for whatever reason you want the Microsoft Copilot button, then I would consider the 2024, or if you can find a better price point on the 2024 than say the 23, 22, or 21, then it might make sense to go 24. But I'm holding myself right here at the 2023 as they are still currently available and on sale at sites like Best Buy, Amazon, B&H, your favorite retailers. Links in the description below if you want to check the live pricing. Otherwise, please comment below and let me know if you've enjoyed this video, if it has been helpful. I'm considering doing it for other laptops on my channel that I have been able to keep in the past. I will see you guys here in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.